Okay, so I'm at a church right now, and I just want to quickly, smooth but quickly share a super meaningful message about how God gave me infinite confidence. And yeah, this is something I actually talked about in my previous video when I talked about socializing and not burning out from socializing, as somebody whom that can happen to very often. And it didn't happen this past weekend, and I actually did that through God and through tapping into God's energy and confidence. So yeah, I'd say I'm somebody who's always lacked confidence within myself, and especially I've had anxiety from thinking about how other people view me, just thinking about other people in general. I'd say I'm a people pleaser, or I used to be, and just constantly, like when I'm in a room, it's very hard for me to be present. When there's people around, the only thing I think about are those people. Maybe you can relate, maybe you can't, but for me, it's very easy for me just to only think about like the people, and I completely forget about myself. And that can be a strength and a weakness, of course. I'm very thoughtful. I feel like when I'm around people, I think about other people, I think about their needs. I think this is a great strength, but yeah, something like this needs to be controlled, because if you're just thinking about like what other people are doing, then you're not going to do anything. In my experience, that's what happened to me. It's like, if I'm only thinking about what these other guys are doing, like basically like scrolling on Instagram and looking at all these people's like work in their lives and them doing all this stuff, it's like, but what about your life? Like, what are you doing, and what do you want to do, and how are you going to make the most out of this life? And because a lot of these people, they're sharing their passions, they're sharing basically like what makes them fulfilled, and that's inspiring. It's very short-term motivation that inspires passion, inspires meaning as well. But yeah, why not do it yourself? Because it'll be much more long-lasting. But yeah, so I struggle just with thinking about people in general. I'm always thinking about other people's needs. But yeah, you can forget about yourself, and that's not in the best way. Of course, it's also a strength. There's strengths and pros and cons to all this stuff. However, to find confidence as somebody who is a people pleaser, is always thinking about other people, it's always been hard for me. And I have kind of had I've had an on and off relationship with God, and on and off relationship with spirituality, on and off relationship with my church, experienced a lot of religious church trauma, as some people do. However, I've kind of more recently kind of committed to spirituality, God, because I really do think I'll be happier, and my life will go the way that I want it if I'm choosing this spiritual path, if I'm choosing God, and if I commit to God, and if I commit to living a life basically of higher goodness, of higher love, for myself and the people around me. It's a balance. It's not just yourself, it's not just other people, but it's both. And as I'm doing that, I think about tapping into God. And actually, my goal recently is what does it mean to, let's say, I want to reclaim identity as a child of God. And what does that mean? What does that mean to claim identity as a child of God? And I'm asking that question to myself. What does that really mean? And basically, how would somebody who claims this identity act? How would this person act? And that's basically, I'm trying to figure out how I can act more connected to God and this identity as his child. So in that way, just in my daily life, connecting to the very fact that God is there. And guess what? God is perfect. God is infinite goodness. God is infinite love. I don't have those things. I have some of it, but not infinitely. So if I want to gain those things, what do? I go to God. I connect to God. I center on God. And I think about God in my daily life. And especially towards my challenges and my relationships. Because that's where you need that stuff. Of course, towards yourself. But relationships make things so much more substantial. It's like they're right in front of you. I'm gonna practice this right in front of you. So when I go into a room now, I don't think about, oh, what does this person think about me? Because because I don't care, man. What do I think about now? I think about, what does God think of me? What is God's perspective of me? Well, God thinks I'm his beloved child whose value is unchangeable, whose value is unchanging and infinite. That's my value. That's what God thinks of me. So why should I care about all these other people's opinions who have, basically they deem your value as changing through their opinions or through them sharing things about you, talking behind your back. It's like, it almost feels like they change your value by doing these things. And that's kind of what I feel like from thinking about their perspective of me. But if you think about God's perspective towards yourself, dude, it'll change your life. So yeah, I really hope you can take this message, practice it, and experience a shift in your life, because this is exactly what I'm experiencing, and I only would want to share this with other people. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you for listening. God gave me infinite confidence, and he can give it to you too. Bye.